This is FanSpeak, a weekly live show where the fans of comics and its community are our guests. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. This is FanSpeak for the 15th of March. Time is certainly flying. Happy to have you guys all in here with us as we take a look at some of the craziness that's going on in the world of nerddom and just our world in general. John Diller says first, even though he's third. Awesome. Hey, John. And we definitely got a lot to talk about today. So I'll try my best to keep an eye on the other side if anyone is trying to get into the live stream waiting area that wants to join us and be up here with us. But nevertheless, thank you guys. It's certainly turned into some craziness on the other side. It looks like in the political things, which we won't get into much today, hopefully, that it's still crazy. Yep. And in the world that we like, we want to enjoy with our entertainment, it's still crazy. And to kind of show that point off, I think I'll jump right into it, and I will show you. I'll put this up in case someone pops in. But this is what I'm going to start off with today. Let me bring this back up. Yeah, let's take a look at this real quick. Now, we know as comic book fans with the X-Men that the whole Jean Grey, Logan, and Cyclops thing has been going on for a long time, right? They always had that conflict between them going on. We know in the new run, when they brought Jean Grey back, they've made her into this kind of horrible, mean thing, which she never was. She was always a sweet girl. She's already turned Iceman gay, which is kind of a horrible, mean thing to do. You think the homosexuals would be really upset about that? I mean, you shouldn't force someone to do something. You're born that way, right? But nevertheless, they've continued with this thing. But look what they've done. It seems that they have it now that even though Jean is, of course, married to Cyclops, right? He's okay with them having their little side fling. That seems to be the thing going on in the comic book. All right, that's bad enough. I mean, that changes the dynamic of their relationship completely, turning Cyclops into what do they call that in modern days? Oh yeah, a cuck. But then they went and did this. Okay. Now I'm not sure. Is this is this misogyny or misandry? I'm confused because is this Jean twisting Logan's mind into making him gay, or is this just I don't know, stupid? I don't know, probably just stupid. I think I'll go with stupid. But it's like, who in the hell's in charge of this, and why? I mean, you took one of the most manly characters you have in the Marvel comic books, and no, we're just gonna go ahead and make him gay. That is fanfic from a pro. I know it is, John. I know it is. But the rumor is that that's where they're going with it, because that's the reason why this thing was put together, and people have been talking about it. So I'm just this is insanity. It's just insanity, John. Fake news, Pixel Trader says. Is it though? Is kind of the point I'm trying to make. But yeah, no, bad people. Now moving on here. Goodness gracious. Now this right here, I'm sure you guys have already seen this, and I'm kind of wondering if this isn't something that's been orchestrated because I don't know much about Nick Cannon. He's Mariah Carey's husband, I guess. And we saw him on America's Got Talent. We watched that years ago. The kids liked it. The wife liked it. So we watched it for so many seasons. And Nick was on there, and he was fine. And he was presented as, this very likable fella. He's not very talented. He's not super smart, but he's just likable. You know. And then all of a sudden, Nick comes out. Looks like he's now a new adherent of Louis Farrakhan. Wonderful, and just spouting the most hate-filled racism you can imagine. I mean, anti-Jubuses and anti-white, and it's just raw, hardcore racism. It's like comical levels of racism, right? And it just feels a little unnatural to me. I suppose it could be just his, he's been indoctrinated, and it could be his opinion, and he's not very smart. We know that. I mean, if you ever paid attention to America's Got Talent, you're well aware that Nick Cannon is kind of a dummy. But could he be that dumb? But then again, we saw the football player there. Was he from the Philadelphia Eagles? I think. He came out and said a bunch of horrible things and didn't affect his job at all. But Nick here, he has been dropped by Viacom and several others, and I think the main reason that he got hit with that probably had nothing to do with the white people thing. It was him going after the Jubases, which you can't do that. They because although they say it isn't true, they actually do control entertainment in America. So yeah, you're out, dude. But I mean, give me some opinion in the chat on this, because it just seems out of left field with Nick Cannon. He was presented to us as a completely different type of person, not some just hateful, dumb racist. It doesn't make sense to me. John says, I heard Nick Cannon was hilarious. Well, at least Dave Chappelle's son thinks so. Well, I mean, Dave Chappelle shows his side as well, but I mean, Dave is very talented. He's very funny. That's not really my point. I don't understand the heel turn from Nick Cannon here. It seems, like I said, almost orchestrated. I don't know I don't know what more to say about it, but I just had to. I know it has nothing to do with what we talk about, but I just no way I couldn't mention it. This is such an outrageous thing, and if you haven't seen it, I would suggest either staying away from it because it'll make you mad, or not. But yeah, damn, Nick Cannon, man. Now I do notice we got in here Flying Saucer, we got Marsupial, we got John, we got Pixel, we got Eric. Nice to have you guys all in here. And yeah, let's get into our actual neck of the woods here. Now, movies. Now we know the James Bond thing. We knew there was changes. The new 007, not James Bond. She's not being called Jemina Bond or something like that. She has her own name, but she's 007, which I suppose isn't a problem. I guess you can give the number away. It's not a big deal. But this is interesting because, of course, they push it back because of the Corona-chan, and but they're doing a lot of reshoots. It sounds like Midnight's Edge has covered this quite well. If you're interested in looking at more detail, but they're going back and doing some pretty serious reshoots. And one of the big things they're kind of curious what they might be changing. We don't really know. But I'm curious as well because one thing they did in this movie is giving him a daughter, right? So he's no longer the sexy dad or sexy guy who goes out and gets all the girls. Now he's the dad who's going to have to take care of his daughter and retire. And we'll probably get from now on, it won't be James Bond. It'll be 007 movie, and it'll have the new Bond or whoever they want. They'll just keep putting in a different person to play the 007 role, which is what I think they're going to do. But what major reshoots do you guys think they might be up to? I mean, there's a lot of speculation going around. What do you think they might change in light of modern things that are going on? Especially seeing as it sounds like in this movie, he's going around trying to stop a world pandemic. One that's been caused, by some, specter villain, I'm assuming. Do you think they're going to change the entire plot line? I mean, they're like, oh, it's too close, or we can't have them doing like that. Hmm. Not really sure. This is like an ongoing thing, and there's your new Bond, by the way. And we don't really know what's going on. There's too many rumors and stuff to assume anyone is particularly true. But I think that is that the mama? That might be the mama. maybe. At least he gets one last pretty one as he goes out. I hope he gets a pretty one. All right, whatever. But what do you guys think about this? The fact that they're doing major plot reshoots, not so I don't know. Do you even call that a reshoot? I suppose we usually reshoots are to kind of clean up little things here or there, but it sounds like they're doing quite a bit. But it's too bad they didn't just kind of come out with it because this one it seemed like was ready before the whole hardcore lockdown was going on. They could have got this out, but I don't know. Just another example of something that leans more toward things that men like that is under attack, right? Just a long list of this kind of stuff. And yeah, we're going to get more of it. I'm sure. So, just giving your opinion and tell me what you think. Anyway, let's move on here. Um, Now, you guys know here on the FanSpeak, I like to talk about board games and stuff. At least introduce one thing. And here's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, this is kind of interesting. It's a it's a pop-up book board game. Now, they've been threatening us with this for quite a while. There have been several attempts, and there's several. I pay attention to designer blogs and vlogs and those kind of things, and there's been several companies in the board gaming world that have, like I said, threatened us with this idea. And this one seems to be doing pretty well. It's what, up to $150,000. Is that what that is? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, $156,000. And so it's making some money, and it's still got plenty of time to go. And as guys can see, the numbers are already rolling up. But I went and took a look at this, and it's an interesting concept. Now, keep in mind, board games kind of fall into two categories, right? Family, and buddies around the gaming table on the weekend, right? That's basically the two categories. Um, this one certainly seems to fall into the family thing, which is great. You feel threatened by that game? Okay. But what they're doing here is let me get down to these are some of the perks and stuff. I'm not as interested in that, but I want to talk about the idea of the game itself. So let me get down here. So they show you how to play. So you got your little pop up you bring up, and there's a whole bunch of them, and each one its own little scenario. You have your character you choose from the family that have moved into the haunted house, of course. And you're looking for clues in the picture. You can collect items, and you can interact with the characters, ghosts, things like that, I guess. And I'm looking at it, and I went through it, and people are spending money, and maybe I should go through it again because I really don't know if I get the appeal. Um, maybe the appeal is just the pop-up itself, and the little doors and things you can open and all that kind of stuff. And there's going to be a whole bunch of them. But I just didn't look like the funnest game to me. But like I said, it is the hype that's going on in the board game world right now. And I think it's maybe just novelty. But there's of the things that are going on right now. I've already talked about the big one, and I just thought this would be interesting to take a look at. Now, it's a really well set up page. They explain everything you need. There's really good reviews, playthroughs, etc. So if you're interested in checking out, you can learn exactly what's going on. Well, let's take a look at this one right here, and just kind of get a look at it. I'm not going to play the audio, but this lady's presenting. Got your little pop-up book there, little areas that open up. Yeah, I get that. I get that. And like I said, for years and years, they've been really, threatening, wanting to do a game with pop-up stuff, and I think you can do it in such a way that it would be interesting. But I'm not really sure if this one's it. What do you guys think? Is this something that looks interesting to you? No, there's no one on with me, Eric. No. Yeah, no, I don't see anybody waiting either. Yeah, let me come back over. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll move on from this, but I don't know. It's an interesting idea, but I think it needs to be fleshed out a little bit. But I could be wrong. Like I said, there's a lot of people talking about it. There's a good bit of hype. It's obviously not caught enough attention to be millions on it because that does happen on Kickstarter with board games. But 150,000, that's a lot of attention for sure. So now this is the next little bit of story I had here. I thought I'd sit and talk about, and I think in general it's a good idea. DC Comics announces new Rorschach series from Tom King. Now we know Tom King has kind of lost his mojo. We know that the whole thing with Bendis and all the stuff that's been going on over DC, but there's been a lot of shakeup over there. And we also know that Tom King actually is quite talented when he wants to be. He can be a great writer. And maybe him being given something new and fresh like this, maybe it will get the old Tom King back. And that could be a lot of fun. Now, I like everybody else, I'm sure. I certainly like the Watchmen series. It was a lot of fun, and my favorite character out of it was certainly Rorschach. I mean, he's a very interesting character. And I'm not sure who your favorite is, and guys, go ahead and drop that in the chat. But Rorschach was a lot of fun, and of course, he was a very important character in the overall story that they were trying to tell as well. But having a story of him either before or after would be interesting. But it looks like here, as you see in the announcement, DC Comics announces a brand new Rorschach series, describing it as a new vision of the most a riveting character from Watchmen. I agree. There's a 12 issue maxi series, wonderful name, written by former Batman Tom King and
No!
Jorge Fornes. Well, thank you very much for yelling in my ear. Um,
I apologize.
no, that's all right. This is going on Black Label Booster, and it will be set 35 years before Ozymandias was exposed for killing thousands of people in New York City. Okay, so they are doing in that period. Do you know anything about this book?
I only just heard about this now. What the hell? They're giving this to Tom King.
Well, you and I both know Tom King does have talent, dude. If he can get his mojo back, right?
I don't think he'll ever get his mojo back. I think he's a sucker forever. Why are they? Oh, I don't want him anywhere near Rorschach. This is a terrifying idea to me.
It could be, but it also could be good. I mean, it's something fresh and new for him. All we can do is be positive because if, when it comes out and it sucks, well then fine. But yeah, I would like to see a good Rorschach series. I think I'd enjoy it quite a bit. Getting back to that detective noir and the kind of stuff that Rorschach brings to a story. I mean, if it could just suck, I suppose, but I don't
Hmm.
know. I hope it doesn't. How's that?
I too hope it doesn't. They got a good artist for it though.
They do. Yeah,
Hmm.
they do. Because I just saying that Tom King can actually do a good job. He can do a good job. I remember the beginning of the Miracle Man, Mr. Miracle.
It's
Sorry.
the miracle. Yeah.
And that thing started out wonderfully. Now, it ended horribly. It was an absolute train wreck. But that
Yes.
thing was pretty cool in the beginning. Yeah.
It was cool. I just. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything good since.
No, you're right. He hasn't. But Marsupial Gamer says prediction: Rorschach will be pathetically sobbing about something or other. Well, if he does that, it's done. That's the end of the book because that's not
Hmm.
Rorschach at all. Rorschach is
I'm a ginger.
yeah, no, no, no. If Tom King does that, he'll kill the book, right?
Yeah. Rorschach is just like how do you say, he's autistically stoic. That's how I'd put it.
Oh
Right?
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Uh, and he's cool. It's a cool character. Um, and now I don't know how he's going to. I guess I didn't read whatever was happening where way after the world now knows that Ozymandias cheated and lied to them or something like that.
And
Uh,
was
I didn't read that.
35 years.
Yeah, 35 years. So this is obviously not the original Rorschach. It's some other
Oh,
Rorschach, or Dr. Manhattan did something. I don't know.
sorry. It's set 35 years before he was exposed. Not, I thought it was 35 years before he actually did the killing. So 35 years before he was exposed. Um.
Yeah, so it's after the events of the Watchmen.
Hmm.
So yeah, he was dead at the end of the Watchmen. Pretty dead.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he
He
was
was. Yeah, it was
atomized.
quite done.
Yeah, quite
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. uh, so someone is, in the role, right? And you see this here where they're doing investigation with the bloody clothing and stuff. So interesting. But I like the
Okay.
idea. I think it's cool. It's
I'm
something they should have done
warming
already. To
up
be honest
to
with
it.
you. Yeah.
I am warming up to it. It's just the only thing that's holding me off is it's Tom King.
No,
I
no,
hate
I
to say
agree.
it.
Yeah,
The guy.
Marsupial agrees too. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, the guy just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth now. I really want to like this guy, but he just, I don't know, he keeps proving himself to be just a worthless dick at every opportunity as well. And
Yeah.
seeing how he behaves towards Dean Cain and with the whole comic book pledge, oh my god.
Yeah. 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 No, I understand that. I'm just trying to be positive, Booster. I'm just trying to be
Hmm.
positive because
Well, I'll be here to bring it down, so you know, to
yeah,
balance it out.
fair enough. But I'm just because when I saw this personally, I was like, yes, please. And then I saw Tom King. I was like, damn it. But
It's so close.
it's so close because I'd love it. I think it's a great idea, and it's one of those things that why didn't they do this already?
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Marsupial
Hmm.
says,
Hmm.
"Stop being positive, Chester. It's weirding me out." Fine. Damn.
It, usually we gotta be the other way around. Me and Chester, we have to balance each other up, or
Yeah.
else or else it's just like a little echo chamber. We can't have that.
No, that's true. You can't have that, right? Anyway,
Uh,
well, moving on because there's nothing more to say about it. Now, as you guys might have noticed, there's a series of really dumbness in a row here, and then it continues. What the hell is that, Booster? What is that?
that's the Batmobile Batman. In case you haven't noticed, death metal is completely insane.
Well, it seems to me death metal is being made for kids. I thought this was leaning a little more adult, but it's not. This is clearly for first graders, second graders, which is
It's a
fine.
monster truck.
It's a monster truck.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I have no
cute.
problem with that. But it's not for. I thought death metal was going to be, hinting at the name. It was going to be more black label leaning toward adults, but this is clearly not what
It
they're doing at all.
it, it is. See, look, there's gore. They ran over a tiny little atom Batman.
His little head popping off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
That's cute.
He had one page worth of dialogue and he just gets run over. It was pretty funny. I have to admit.
Well, that's cool, and people seem to be enjoying it. This is more comedic, but I no, no. As soon as I saw that, I was like, no, no, Batman in a monster truck, no, no.
Is
No,
that
no, it's
supposed to be
not Batman
Swamp
in a
Thing?
monster truck. It's
It's
Batman
Batman
monster truck.
as a monster truck. Yes, I understand that. Um,
Huh.
And yes, that is Swamp Kid thing.
Huh.
He's been starved for years or something,
Huh.
taken away from the green.
well, I don't know. What do you guys think about this death metal? I mean, obviously they just let them do whatever the hell they wanted to do, which
I'm
is
digging the art.
There's Greg Capullo. It's always good.
I like the art.
I've been enjoying death metal. It's been a good read. It's absolute silliness. It's what I'd want from a metal series.
okay. I mean, because the metal that they came, even though it ended horribly, that was kind of hardcore in your face, right?
Hmm.
And this is silly, very, very silly. Um, Big Barda wondering why she's there in front of a monster truck woman. Yeah, fair enough.
That's
Uh,
Wonder Woman, but yeah.
yeah, I get the joke though. Looks like they're trying to sell Hot Wheel toys. Yeah, it does. Speaking of
Oh,
Capullo,
could
I
be.
want Creech to come back. There you go. What do you think about this, Eric?
I like the art, but I've always liked Capullo's art. It does look a little silly, but I mean, with all the other crap we got, it can't be any worse than that.
No, I suppose you have to look at it like that. I guess it's just not for me though.
Sometimes you need a little lightheartedness.
I suppose.
Mhm.
But Batman is driving the monster truck, and then he is the monster truck. So make your mind up. Which is it?
Yeah, in the cover they have him driving it, but that never happens. They
So
immediately kill off the monster truck, as you see here, as soon as they're done with him.
So that's Swamp Thing killing him.
Yes, or at least just shutting him down. I don't quite know.
Goodness gracious. All right, fine. It's a mix of Big Barda and one woman, which is why I said what I said. Not surprising Butcher didn't catch it. Oh, damn. Buddy's just throwing shade at you, dude.
Yeah, but no, it isn't though. So I don't know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, neither do I.
He's just wrong.
Well, it sounds like people
That's
are
okay.
enjoying it, I guess. So it's just not for me, I suppose. Anyway, moving on. This right here, we've already mentioned, and all I'm saying is stupid. Stupid.
Stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean,
stupid.
oh, come
Next
on.
article.
Yeah, next. Thank you. Next article. Yeah. No, because it.
Next.
Well, no, it's just horrible casting. Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. What?
Way too boyish.
Way too young. Just completely wrong casting. Now that's too little. I mean, but it's just on and on and on. It's just wrong. Now we said
it's really
that,
hard.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's really hard to cast a manly gruff character in his 20s these days. It seems like guys in their 20s are way too boyish now.
Oh, they are. They're all soy boys. They're weak and useless and feckless and all those kind of good words. But I mean, this is actually a role that I know people often go to him. But who's the guy that's in Peaky Blinders? He played Max in the Fury Road thing. What's that guy's name?
Oh shit. Was he?
I think it's Tom something, right? He's another Tom. Yeah.
I'll have to Google this real quick. Was he in the About a Boy? Was he the kid in that?
I don't know. He's in a lot of movies. He's a very, very good actor from time to time.
You mean Nicholas Hoult?
No, I don't. I'm talking about the guy who played Mad Max in Fury Road.
Oh, sorry. You mean bloody? Oh shit.
Tom Hardy.
Brain.
There you go, buddy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of.
Yeah, I knew it was
Nicholas
another
Hoult.
Tom. But now I know a lot of people go to him for many things, because he's a really good actor. Most of the time, not always. He was horrible as Venom, but that would have been a much better choice for Nathan Drake, I think. He's a solid actor.
Absolutely.
He's got the look of it. Yeah. He's got the age of it. Yeah,
Definitely has the look. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's also got the chops. And Tom Holland, I don't know. What do you guys think about Tom's acting?
He's good at being a goofy kid.
He is good at that. Yeah. See, I
guess we haven't really given him enough of a chance to see his range.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
But has he earned it? I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, I think he's fine choice as Spider-Man. It's not really his fault. The problems with Spider-Man are not his doing. Although he is an absolute SJW 100% though. I mean, hardcore one, right?
Mr. I want to be a gay Spider-Man.
Yeah, like make everything gay. You see that little joke I did in the beginning with the gay Wolverine and Cyclops thing, that art that came out?
I did not.
Yeah.
Missed that too.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious because it feels like they're leading up to that. As stupid as it would be. Yeah. Well, everyone's got to be gay now. Yeah, if you're a white, what do they call us, cis? We're cis. Yeah. Yeah, if you're that, you shouldn't exist anymore. Nick Cannon told us you shouldn't be white anymore either. I don't know how I fix that. Booster, how do I fix my whiteness?
You gotta whip yourself and eat more fried chicken.
I like fried chicken. I eat fried chicken all the time.
There you go. You're on your way.
All
and
right.
then you just have to say the N word.
The other thing is you can't work hard. If
Uh-oh.
you work hard, that's a trait of white people, according to Twitter I saw today. Tweet. If you
Yeah.
have family values, that's a white trait. That's white trait right there. You don't
Yeah.
all kinds of weird crap in that.
Study and stuff. Yeah, I remember the whole thing about the study is being an Uncle Tom. You know the ironic thing about them throwing around Uncle Tom all the time. You know Uncle Tom was a hero, right, in that story? Yeah. Did someone how did they reverse that? How did they not understand what the story was about and they reversed it and made Uncle Tom a bad thing when it's clearly meant to be a good thing? I never understood that. Anybody explain that to me? Anybody? I feel like, Ferris Bueller's teacher here.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We're not allowed to get along, no matter what we try.
No, we're not. We're not. And you know the thing with the Nick Cannon thing, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that, but what I thought was most interesting about Nick Cannon just coming out with his, like child level comprehension of racism. Um, if you go and look on the Twitters and the Facebooks and all those kind of things, the level of support he's getting and people that agree with him is shocking, dude. We're not talking a few; we're talking thousands upon thousands of them agreeing with
Is
Nick
it
Cannon.
shocking?
Huh? Is it
Is it
shocking
shocking?
to me that a huge chunk of the black community thinks that white people and Jews are animals and are not actually human? Yeah, it's a bit shocking, a little bit.
I don't
Yeah,
find it shocking. I find it ridiculous. I'm not surprised by it though.
I am, but I haven't lived in the States in quite a while. It just wasn't like that.
You come home, Chester. We need you. You need to come home.
Really? You need me on the line, huh? Now,
Need you
I'm
on
a
the
fair
line.
shot. I'm a fair shot. But yeah, I don't know, dude. That's insane. But the thing is, they're allowed to get away with it in general. I mean, he lost his job, but what's he worth? 20, $30 million, right? So no big deal.
Yeah, he'd been working. Was it for CBS for like 20 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
Different shows and stuff. I didn't know who he was. My brother kept telling me about the. I only knew who that is, dude. Go look it up.
Well, he was on that. The only reason I know him is because my family liked that America's Got Talent show. I mean, one
Mm-hmm.
of those stupid reality things. I mean, they're so dumb, but they liked it, and I get it, so we watched it. But
You
that's
know
where it
why
was
you're
going
probably
from.
surprised? I know why you're surprised. You're smart enough to not be on Twitter all day long and see this ridiculous we see every day.
Oh no, I don't. I don't. I stay away from Twitter.
That's why.
Come.
That's why you're surprised.
Everyone say, "Come home, Chester. I can be a cannon fodder." Dude, I got skills, a certain set of skills, Mister. But anyway, Booster, read this headline.
Do you know how many people this man has disemboweled? For
No,
fun?
Chester's been disemboweled.
I have
New
actually.
rumor
Yeah.
details Vin Diesel will take on a live-action character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He will be live-action Groot.
No, he's going to be live action Black Bolt. And the reason I
Oh,
put this up here was because, as you saw, all the other news, it's insanity after insanity. Uh, he goes from voicing characters where we don't see him. Now we're going to kind of see him, but we're not going to hear a word from him.
unless they get the character totally wrong and he won't shut up.
No, there's no way. There's no way. So why would Vin accept this? You think just money?
Why? Does he hate speaking? Does he hate having too much complicated dialogue?
Well, it's just weird, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
done good characters, but we don't see him, and now we're going to see him, but we're not going to hear from him. It's just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they like using his voice for Groot. They want to
Yeah,
use his
and he was
face
the
for
Iron
Black Bolt.
Giant.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
don't
he
want
was
to
great in that.
really get confused by hearing his voice. Different
I
characters,
just-
so he's perfect for Black Bolt.
I still
guess.
find it ridiculous that he voiced Groot. They couldn't just get like a regular voice actor for a lot cheaper to keep saying "I am Groot."
Well,
They had to have Vin Diesel do it.
Well, I think they wanted him in the cinematic universe, and therefore it was just a way to keep him involved. I think until they got to him. I
I
believe
guess, yeah.
so. Yeah. And you're right. I
Yeah,
loved him as Iron Giant. That was wonderful, right?
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a gorgeous movie. Again, not very complicated dialogue.
No, but it's memorable. Iron Giant is a great movie. My family loved that. My daughter particularly loves it. She has she's a young woman, but she still kind of has some of that kiddiness to her. So her walls in her apartment are covered in manga posters and things like that. But that Iron Giant poster's still sitting right there. You know, even amongst
Oh,
all that
cool.
other stuff. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, so, but I'm happy for Vin. I have no problem with Vin. He's one of us for sure. He's an actual nerd. He's not a fake nerd. And more power to him, more money for him. I think it's unfortunate what they did with the with the Pitch Black series. The first movie was great. The second movie was why, and the third movie was we needed a reboot. Really? So I don't know what they did with that. It's too bad. We could have had something cooler with that, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Do you like the Pitch Black series?
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen any of them, so I can't really comment.
I watched the first one. I really liked the first one, and I just saw the trailers for the other two, and I had no interest in those.
Yeah, no, the second one is complete waste of time. I don't even know what they were thinking when they made that. I mean, it's watchable as a movie, but it doesn't fit in with the character, so it's bizarre.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I don't know. The third one I liked once again, but it's a standalone movie. That's the problem. Each one of them are standalone movies. They're not an actual series. That's part of the problem. But he's perfect at doing that. He's really good at
Yeah.
that. So I don't know, but happy to see him getting some money and work, I guess. So he's got to be Black Bolt. What do you? So with that aspect, what do you think of him as Black Bolt?
I think if you get a good costume on it, and they're not afraid to cover up his face, right? I
Yeah.
think he'll look just the part.
Do you think he has
Yeah, yeah.
Carl Urban's balls, Eric?
Carl Urban's balls? No.
Well, because he did
Hmm.
Dread and didn't show his face once.
Hmm.
I think Vin will want to show his face a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah,
We'll
he should
see.
look good as a character. Otherwise, I mean, he has the build for a
Uh,
superhero character, I
Black
guess.
Bolt's mask shouldn't obscure his face too much. We'll see.
The eyes, really?
Yeah,
Eyes in the
Hmm.
head, right?
yeah, his mouth will be able to be seen. Because the thing that I'm curious is what they're going to do with Medusa. Because they tried in that TV series, and I thought the guy they chose to be Black Bolt was perfect, and of course they showed his face completely. But the Medusa character and everything else about that was just a hot mess. I mean, my God, who was in charge of that, and what were they thinking? Um, it's one of the biggest debacles for me of any superhero endeavor ever. It was so bad. Did you guys watch that?
No.
Nah.
The reviews were so bad, it just, yeah, it looked bad. Then I saw the characters, and I just couldn't watch it.
Everyone I saw was saying it was really bad.
Oh, it was horrible. It was comically bad. I have no idea who was in charge of that or what they were thinking. The only cool thing was Lockjaw. We actually had Lockjaw running around. That was cool, and that's it. Yep. But and that's a problem because people have that image in their head, and they're going to try to bring Inhumans back around again. I don't know. I guess with a person like Vin Diesel, he could carry it. Now, I haven't seen his Bloodshot yet. Have you guys seen that?
No.
I haven't watched it yet. It's not high on my list. I'd like to see it, but it's not that important to me.
No, but
Hmm.
I do like Valiant. I am a fan. The Bloodshot character is easy, simple character you can do a lot with. I think.
I would have
It's not.
preferred to see a Turok movie first.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'd like to see Man of War personally, but I get the Torok
That'd be
thing.
good too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to check it out. I hear it's not great. It's kind of low budget. I'm going to check it out anyway because I do like Vin Diesel and I like the character. But nevertheless, good on you, sir. hmm hmm
Mm-hmm.
Now, here we have a list of things that I went through already, and and I just kind of wanted to look at these things to see if there's anything interesting. Darkseid coming in Duvernay's New Gods, of course, and I'm already checked
Mm,
out for this because Miss Duvernay, she is very, very unskilled. She is what you call a token hire. Yeah.
The
yes.
bearded guy?
Well, they can
No,
shave him
that's
up,
Ray
and
Porter.
I don't know anymore nowadays. It could be.
well, they're going to CG Darkseid
That
anyways.
could be Ava
Oh,
DuVernay.
okay. That's who I thought. Was that the Ava DuVernay?
No,
No,
it's
no.
a black lady. But
Mm.
because her Wrinkle in Time, I'd heard so much about it. People were talking. I actually went and checked it out. Dude, that is not. It's not just a badly directed movie in the form of storytelling. It's just badly directed.
It's badly directed. It was a bad adaptation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a hot mess of SJW garbage. It has Oprah.
Well, it does.
Yeah, that was enough
Oh
for me not to say it
God!
was the Oprah.
They got to cast Oprah as Granny Goodness. No.
Well, they had like the cinematography. They would have like the real close ups on the face, but they were chopping the bottom, the top of the faces off. It was that bad. It was just amateur. I think I might have been able to do better, and I have no experience making movies at all. But I mean, at least I know don't cut the face off. Don't get the camera that close. Don't do that too much. I mean, it's just full of
Yeah.
really bad direction.
And
So
someone saw that and said, "Here, have Jack Kirby's masterpiece."
yeah, right. Exactly. And then on the other side, his continuation of it or his redoing of it at Marvel with the Eternals, that's being mucked up too. So it's
Mm.
like, but I really don't understand this Duvernay. I mean, who's the guy who did the Us, and they gave him the Twilight Zone, which he screwed that up. What's his
Oh,
name? I can't remember, but you guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
know
know who
who
you're
you're talking
talking
about. I'm
about.
just
Yeah.
googling it real quick. Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. There you go. Now that fella, he does have some skill. He does. He
Yes.
knows how to shoot film. He knows what he's doing. He's skilled. So he's not a token hire at all. He's just an idiot.
Hmm.
He's just an idiot. I mean, get your politics out of it and do good storytelling.
Yeah.
Build up a repertoire where people are like, hey, this guy's good. Then hit him with your politics, right?
His movie is just allegory and politics before story.
Oh, absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
sad because he's actually a very skilled filmmaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His movies look great. I personally have zero interest in them. But you can say from an objective point of view how the films are made and put together, they're excellent.
They are excellent, yeah. And it's just
Hmm.
too bad because now anything he comes out with, I'm not even going to bother looking at. I don't care. I'm not interested because everything he does is politically based, and it's like, well, dude, I mean,
Hmm.
that's not what I'm not interested in. That I want something entertaining. You could do that every now and then, but don't be Spike Lee. I mean, Jesus,
If I'm
never be
not
Spike Lee.
mistaken, I believe that he's making these kind of films as an overcorrection because his what was his comedy skit called? Key and Peele was
Yeah.
criticized for appealing to white people. It was white people comedy, right?
Hmm.
So I
I
believe
can
that
see
these
that. Yeah.
these black film movies are an overcorrection.
Okay. Well, if that's the
Oh,
attitude
Hmm.
that the black community in America is going to take, and I know right well it's not the whole black community, but if that's the
No, of course.
stance that we're going to take, then black people are in trouble. Because pretty much all the money that black comedians make, black hip hop artists make, are from white people.
What?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. So
like
that
suburban kids.
it
You're
is.
saying
It's
that
suburban kids.
13% of the population can't make individuals rich?
Oh, they could. I mean, there are certain individuals. I think Tupac, for instance, was definitely someone who was appreciated within the black community more so than outside of it.
Hmm.
But I'm just so that you can. But in general, that's where they're getting their money out of. These, like as Eric said, these suburban kids. And I think a lot of these Antifa punks are those kind of kids, right? Same kind of kids,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And it's dumb, Mr. Peel. You're a very talented person, and of course, I mentioned that in juxtaposition here to Duvernay, because she's has no skill whatsoever, and yet you're giving her this is what a AAA blockbuster movie, New Gods, right? This isn't some little cheap, just get it done with $50 million. This is a big budget thing,
Mm.
right?
This should be a cosmic epic.
It should be. It could be awesome, but there's no way, unless
Mm.
someone is ghost directing it behind the scenes to try to make it look good, which I prefer. Please do that. Please go ahead, do that.
Mm.
Right?
Hmm.
I don't know, dude. The world is insane.
Oh no, he's talking about Darkseid being a woman and Granny Goodness being a soy boy. Imagine that they make Granny Goodness a man. Oh wait, that's not outside the realm of possibilities. Granny Goodness has been voiced by a man multiple times.
Yeah, right,
I
right, right.
forget that.
Uh,
Uh,
so Henry Cavill responds to The Witcher and Geralt of Rivia criticism. Are they
oh.
what criticism? Is this simply talking about the fact that The Witcher is a complete ripoff of Elric of Melibone? Maybe. Let me check it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm actually interested in what criticisms he got because his portrayal of the character himself was practically perfect. The show has varying degrees of quality.
No, it huh.
Oh,
I
Robot
guess
Mechanic
no
says,
people.
I've been lurking, but I thought I'd say hello, everyone. Hello!
Hey, what's
Hello.
up, dude? I actually understand this character, and I love this character as much as they do. No, I guess that they're complaining that he's not true to the books, I guess, as they want him
Mm.
to be. Fans, fans are like that. Okay, so this is like a nothing thing. Don't care. But all right. But the thing with The Witcher, it is getting a lot of pushback, and I mentioned this before. It is a complete ripoff of Elric. Yeah, sure. But the thing with Elric, which I
Mm.
love Elric, I'm from that generation. Eric probably too loved Elric. But Moorcock's creation was really cool. But it never really hit super huge. It never did. And even though The Witcher is a ripoff from a communist guy who was in charge of all the media that came into the Soviet Union, and he saw this and like, oh, this is cool, and he just made his Russian version of it. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's become hugely popular. So in essence, even though he's called Geralt now, the Elric character has been shown to the world, and that I think that's a good thing. What do you think, Eric?
I don't even know if I know what Elric is.
Then my point is made. Yeah.
And we're the same age, so it's surprising me. I mean,
Mm. Well, Michael
really don't
Moorcock,
know.
it's his magnum opus for sure. I love the Elric series. I'm a big fan of it, and like I said, the Witcher here is a complete ripoff. It's not a somewhat of a ripoff. It's straight up ripoff. And of course, it was done in
Yeah.
Poland at a time where it was under the Iron Curtain. It was in the Soviet Union, and this guy was in charge of all the media and entertainment that came into the Soviet Union, and he had to make a decision what could be seen, what had to be communist stuff. And he thought he liked it, and he just ripped it right off. He just ripped the whole thing, even dialogue. He ripped it right off, and he
Wow.
sold his Russian version of it, and that's cool. But then the Iron Curtain came down, which you probably didn't expect, and in that intervening time, it became personal to the Polish people. I mean, The Witcher for them is like their one claim to fame or something, and that's another
And bad
reason.
jokes.
Well,
And bad
especially since
jokes.
the video games.
Yeah, yeah, no. CD Project Red, Polish company, great job. So my point is, buddy, I don't want to criticize it because ultimately we did get Elric shown to the world, which I think is cool. And I don't want to take things away from the Polish people anyway. I like Polish people.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Razor Fist did a whole like hour long or over hour long show
Did
about how
he?
he hates Yeah, he doesn't like Witcher at all because it is just what you're saying. I mean, it's a complete ripoff. It really is. The
It is, yeah.
spells, the hair, the sword, the sword craft, the whole idea of chaos being magic and it also being the monsters.
That's
All of it.
true. It is true.
All of
Yeah.
it.
Well, I know Razorfist likes Elric. I've certainly seen him do a series on Elric. You know, 'cause I watch those. I'm a fan myself. So, but he's right. He's right. It is a complete ripoff. But my point is, maybe we should just let it go.
I
You
think at this point you really can't do anything else. I mean, what's sad though, see, is that like that like Moorcock and Element that's coming out with its own series. So that's going to be judged against Witcher because Witcher came out first.
yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I had heard that the Elric series had been canceled.
So, well, I
Yeah,
mean, the last I heard it was still going on, but there's still
I
like a
hope
lot of
so.
stuff going on in the background. So it's kind of interesting. It's like whatever, the Moorcock family or whatever does, the estate, right?
Hmm.
It's going to be, that's going to be seen as the aggressor. That's going to be seen as the fake by the populace.
Well, I mean, it is interesting Moorcock's take on things. Because he was very vocal about all the Warhammer stuff because they ripped him off too. I remember Moorcock getting
Hmm.
upset and complaining about it and stuff. I don't know if he did any lawsuits, but he was upset about their plagiarism. But I haven't heard Moorcock say anything about The Witcher, right? Um,
Hmm.
and and this has been out for a very long time, right? This was written before the fall of the Soviet Union. That's how old it is. So maybe he's okay with it. I don't know, dude.
I don't know if he's okay with it. I think it's sort of like Gaiman with Harry Potter in the 80s. I don't. Do you remember that? Was
No.
the 80s or 90s? In the 90s, like Gaiman had this magic series that he wrote for, I think it was DC, their
Uh-huh.
Vertigo, and it was, there was a bespectacled 14-year-old or like 12 to 14-year-old brown-headed boy that went to a magic school and learned magic. That was learning he was magic, and then all of a sudden, a year later, 2 years later, Harry Potter, and everybody was like, "Hey, this is the
Oh,
same
Book of
thing,
Magic.
Book of Magic." Yeah, and he was like, and he came out and said, "Well, I'm not the first to write a bespectacled, brown-headed, green-eyed boy
Yeah.
that lives with a poor family and becomes a wizard. I won't be the last." And it's like, uh
Yeah. No, I
huh.
remember that. I remember that. But and maybe Rowling, she might well have got her inspiration from that, but she took that and made that her own though. She most certainly did.
Yeah.
One
Well,
thing.
what does this say? Bad artists borrow good artists, steal
That's right.
because they make
Yeah,
it their own.
that's right. Because I understand Rowling's an absolute nutcase. I get it. She is. She, pick a lane lady. But if you read the books, which I read them to my kids, they're really well done kid books. They really are. Now they're not something that's gonna test the time, the
Yeah,
span of
stand the test
time.
of
No,
time.
it's not going
Yeah.
to. But it's a good, solid kids books, man. They're well written. They're fun. I
A
get the
lot
whole
of
books
people
of
give
magic thing.
her Yeah, a lot of people give her a lot of heck for like adverbs and stuff like that. And I'm like, come on, man, this was written, like you're saying, this was written so that it could grow with a child.
Yeah,
Like she literally, wrote the series so that it would be like, I don't know, for like probably like an 8 or 9 year old at first, and then it grew with them
it
to
did.
about 14, 15.
That's right.
You know?
And she did a good job with it. She really did. I mean, she's a very talented person. And it's unfortunate this all went to her head because we know back when she wrote the first books and finally got some success and Harry Potter became a thing, she was a struggling artist, hardcore struggling artist. And she became super rich lady and good on you. Congratulations. But then she had an opinion. She got arrogant.
Was she homeless at one point?
That's
Well,
what I
then
heard. Yeah.
she was homeless and she would write stories in between, uh, like, what was it? Like she would go to the coffee shop and couldn't even afford coffee and would go and sit down at the table and write, a page and
Yeah.
then come home. And that was like her break. Her husband would come home and she would go and he would give her like 20, 30 minutes and then she would come home. It wasn't like hours. She had like just a little bit of time and then she would walk home. And, that's what she did. And she wrote that first story that way, in pieces. And that's why it's kind of, I think, disjointed a little bit, but I also think that's some of the charm.
Yeah. No, it's a good book. I mean, and she did age those books well, which shows an understanding and skill on her part. And I understand the grammatic criticism, I suppose. But here's the thing: anytime I'm reading a literary work, I don't care about the grammar. Why
I
would I?
think nobody
Someone's
does if it's
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah.
That's
I
the
mean,
thing is it's like, can you keep it entertaining? Can you flow? Can you keep it moving? Is there's something to capture your interest? Like I always tell people, like if it doesn't if you're not advancing the plot or developing the characters, cut it out. And
that's right.
her books are extremely quick. They go from one crazy idea to the next.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And it didn't hit hard in Britain initially. And the reason for that is
Mm-mm.
because she takes so much stuff out of British life that for them it was like, it's mundane. But what she was able to do is translate a lot of the kind of Britishisms in such a way that the Americans were like, hey, this is cool. And then it became this bang phenomenon. And of course, now the British
Well,
have death grip on that damn thing.
yeah. She also what she did that not a lot of people are allowed to do anymore because of all kinds of different things, mostly social segregation, is that she would go to schools and she would read the book to kids there like every day. She would go to a different school because she only got picked up by a very small publisher at first. It was
Yeah.
like they wanted to print like 10,000. She asked them for 20, they printed 10. And then she went to schools every day and peddled her books one at a time. And that grew. And then when the internet hit in about the 90s, she was one of the first sites out there, Pottermore. And that blew up because then she went international.
Yeah. No, it's a great success story. I just think it's unfortunate that she let the money go to her head, man. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. Go to a grocery store and say, this guy is gay. Great.
Yeah, it's
Paper
like
or plastic, lady.
it's okay. Yeah, all right, old lady. But yeah, it is what it is. But that is a very different thing, in my opinion. I get the books of magic thing. This thing has been said since the beginning. I get it. But it's very different than the thing with Elric and The Witcher.
Well, what
Uh,
I'm getting at is I don't think he believes he can do anything even if he wanted to.
yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah. But I'm just happy that Elric, in some form, has become known to the world because it's a cool character, right? I mean, Booster, you don't know anything about this stuff, but do you like the Geralt character or the Geralt character?
Yeah, he's cool.
He's cool, right? And now,
Ask Booster why he likes it.
oh God, why?
He swings sword and he's Magic Man.
Okay, there you go. I think
Kimmery.
yeah.
He's not as epic as Elric by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
Does Elric swing sword and is he Magic Man?
he
Elric
is, yeah,
takes souls.
he does, yeah.
That
But
sounds pretty cool.
it's all but anyway, the Geralt character is not as complete as Elric, I'd agree. But then again, Moorcock is a really good writer, right?
Indeed.
But
Yeah.
We
wait,
knew that was coming.
With Booster, yeah, you definitely knew it was coming,
All over
Oh,
I
his
there
bet
they go.
Moorcock was coming. Hey!
I know. Great.
Hey!
All right, let's see here. For some reason, my stereo just went off. It's Booster's fault. All right, so Sebastian
Good.
Stan has been
Poltergeist.
targeted for cancellation after rumored girlfriend's costume party outfit declared racist. All right, let's check
Oh
it
my
out.
god.
All right.
Oh,
So
yeah, she had a kimono or something.
a kimono.
Oh, you-
yeah.
Oh my lord!
I'm
Was
gonna
that
have
a
to
sex
step away
joke?
for a minute. I'm sorry. This is just
Yep,
this
there it is.
pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, I have to say though, I personally don't care for non-Japanese women wearing the kimono, but it's for a very different reason. It doesn't suit the Western body at all. It doesn't look right on them.
does Western women have bigger tits?
They just the proportions are wrong. The kimono was, of course, built for the Japanese body. Obviously, it was made here. It just doesn't look good on you. It just doesn't.
Isn't that whole like gem in the forehead thing Indonesian?
Chester, there are these things called
maybe
tailors, and they can fit things.
it doesn't matter. How the kimono is designed does not fit the Western body. It just doesn't.
Then you just redesign it.
Well, then it's not a kimono.
So
All right, fine. The argument's going nowhere. But on the other hand, the hakama, what the men wear, that works on any male body. It's fine. But the kimono just doesn't. But it doesn't matter. She can wear the kimono all she wants. And I don't even know if this is a kimono. Is it, or is that a? I can't see the front of it. Or I guess it is a kimono. But he's getting canceled because his girlfriend wore a costume. Huh?
Yeah,
That's how it works. Didn't you know that?
it's death by association.
Like, if you stick your dick in something that does something wrong, you're going to hell.
Yeah, because see, if you stick your dick in crazy, you're condoning crazy. That's how it works.
Is it?
It is.
Stan Lee in a yukata here. Very nice, Stan. You're rocking it. This is actually he's clearly in a bathhouse here. This is probably a picture of Stan in actual Japan, I think, because that's a bathhouse yukata is what that is. But yeah, this is dumb. Who cares? This is just dumb. First of all, did you ask the Japanese? Did you? Huh? Did you? Because I guarantee you the Japanese could care less.
No, they get really upset. You don't know.
Okay.
What do you know, Chester?
It was a costume party,
yeah,
too.
Chester.
I don't think my
I just-
grandmother would care. I mean, I'm half Japanese, and
This is craziness, right? They had to follow a little breadcrumb trail to find this, right? To kind of like point him as the guilty party for this.
I mean, these progressive
I'm
Marxists,
shocked.
all they do is sit online, look for something to hate.
This is just
That they have
this
no
is a
part
level
of.
of dumb that I thought I wasn't prepared for, but here we are.
Adrian's 100% correct there. Yeah. But
I think she should have worn a kimono with a dashiki hat as well as in the Native American headdress. That would have been awesome.
Blackface?
Blackface. It's
Yeah,
not
while in
always wrong.
blackface.
It's not always wrong. No, it's not important news at all, Flying Saucer, but then again, none of it is. None of it is. Anyway, let me come back over the other side.
And orcs are racist.
And orcs are racist. That's right. Yeah, keep that in mind. But
That's right.
goodness gracious. Now I see we got something here that Eric wants to talk about. I'll get to in a second. But yeah, there's your news for today, folks. Wasn't that fun?
I
Damn.
got here late. That was fast.
Well, I am kind
A
of
couple
truncating
minutes.
a little bit. I'm only running about an hour or so today. I got a lot to do. I'm crazy busy, Slick. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Yeah, I've felt that in the last few days. There's something going on.
There is, and it is. Oh well. But anyway, why Booster? Why can't I have a happy day of news? Why?
Because life is pain and suffering. The universe is a cosmic mistake, and none of us was ever supposed to exist.
Yeah,
Oh.
Chester. Life isn't lollipops and gumdrops and rainbows farting out of like unipegs and shit. So yeah, well.
I don't even want to
Namaste.
know what a unipeg is.
Well,
yeah.
it sounds terrible, but it's a unicorn Pegasus.
I was about to say, it sounds like you.
When you said
like a
unipeg-
pegging unicorn, but
I was picturing someone with no legs pigging someone.
Yeah,
Well, that's where your head goes to.
because Booster taught me what pegging was during his grinder instructional. So
Mhm.
Booster's the one that taught you that?
yeah, long distance too. It was very bizarre.
That's
But
because Chester is so naive and innocent.
were there visual examples presented in this manifesto?
no. Well, the funny thing about it, Slick, is
There's videos out there.
yeah, no, I understand that.
People you
okay.
know.
People I know. That's right.
No.
Presto
Not my
chango, it happens.
Not my business partner.
No,
Speaking of, Whiteley issue 5 variant cover by Mr. Kiwi.
Abracadabra, y'all.
but actually,
Sack of tongue tangling.
Funded yet?
Oh shit.
are you funded yet?
Oh no, we're about $150 away.
Oh well, guys,
That's
get
not
over there and support Booster. I mean, come on, let's put a couple dollars in his
Absolutely.
pocket. Goodness
I
gracious.
want money.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
That's
need
what I
he's
money.
got to
think.
buy. I don't know. What does he got to buy?
Oh, go ahead, Booster.
Video games and caffeine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
We have to kill Booster with ingested caffeine.
There you
yeah.
go.
There we go. We have to kill Booster. Hashtag kill Booster. Back White Lily issue 5.
There you go.
Hashtag kill
Variants
the kiwi.
cover.
Yeah.
That's a tagline right there.
It is. It is. Slick. The funny thing about it, that what I find funny for myself, is actually, although a lot of it is me kind of just joking around. There were many things that came out when I started doing this YouTube, talking with you guys, and not just Booster, that I didn't know about. I actually had some
Wait.
internet innocence that I maybe should be shamed to admit. There were
Did you?
things.
I still believe
When
that.
it comes to fetish and sexual stuff, you do a deep dive and you never get clean again.
Yeah, well, I don't, and I'm not going to. But I mean, there are a lot of things I didn't know about. I mean, like the whole grinder joke. I get it's funny, especially with the character that Booster's created. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know that
Character.
existed, dude. I really didn't. And it's like, was this name chosen ironically?
Mm, there are.
Did
I
you
don't know.
need to know, Chester?
No, I didn't. But I'm just responding to Slick. It's not. It's not. He's inferring that it's just a big shtick from me, and it is partially so. But there's actually a lot of things you guys have taught me I had no clue existed, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
When we brought splooshing to his attention,
Don't
he was
shut
like,
up.
"Oh, that
No.
sounds like fun."
Well, he
No.
was, he was happy being somewhat innocent or at least ignorant of these situations.
He's like, "I
Come
want a
on.
Cosby sweater." Now that you've explained it,
I like cardigans. I do. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I do need to run along. Thank you guys for coming in. It's always fun to sit here and have a chat and have a laugh. Although I think the Nick Cannon thing was pretty sad, though. The rest of it was just comical. But that Nick Cannon thing's pretty sad. I haven't seen a heel turn like that in quite a
White
while, dude.
people are less than.
he's a racist now.
Yeah, he is. But didn't that shock you? Isn't that a real serious heel turn?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of black celebrities now that think there's carte blanche, using a white word actually there, to just
I think they
say
believe
whatever
they can-
whatever that's been buried in their heart, and you'll see it. Like Terry Crews, obviously, he's like he's not a racist. He's like, wait a minute, wait. He might be a feminist, but he's not a racist.
He's American. Yeah.
I think he's just an egalitarian.
Well, I think he's a good guy. He's rationally he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and he makes a stand where he is. But I mean, somebody like Nick Cannon does that. It's basically saying, yeah, like all white people are guilty of all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm
Isn't it going to
guilty
be
of
funny when
drawing
a guy
breath,
that's got
apparently.
$35 million in the bank says we owe him reparations?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it seems that he and several other people, what they're responding to is some of the stuff that you got to keep in mind that when slavery was brought to the colonies, there were a lot of people from the beginning that were very against that, because they're Puritans, they're Christians, right? And it was happening more to the south of them, but eventually it did touch their lives, and they were very much against it, and they pushed back pretty hard. And one of the arguments that was made, especially a little bit later on, by the people who were pushing slavery, was that blacks are less than, and there was all this argument there. Well, they're not really human. That kind of thing was happening, and the pushback went back and forth for quite a while. And then, of course, later, we had a civil war and stuff, of course. But Darwin, when Darwin came out with his Origin of Species, that argument became even hotter and heavier with those people who were pushing that kind of thinking. But they were a minority. Most people didn't buy into that crap, and a lot of people were, this is inhumane what we're doing, and we should stop. So, I feel like they're doing a play on that, but what they don't seem to understand is that was not the consensus at all. So yeah, well, anyway, maybe I a little bit too much.
Well,
of a
they
deep
just
dive.
want to. They've read too much in 1920s French philosophy and believe in nothing but, post-colonialism, post this, post that, post whatever the heck ism. You know what I mean? And they don't want to go back further into history and see that for 1,500 years, the blacks had slaves of other people that then became the Slavs, which are white. Or they don't want to see that, by the time slavery ended, there was almost a good third of the people that owned slaves were black people who had been freed and got their own slaves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Well, for me, more important, if you want to make that kind of argument in the modern day, well, why don't you fight against the actual slavery that's going on right now? I mean,
Yeah,
this.
indentured servitude.
That would be too hard.
Well, it's not even the indentured servitude thing. That is slavery, and of course, white slavery that's going on as well. Libya has actual open slave markets with people in chains as we speak. Actual slave markets are open in Libya right
Yeah.
now. So I
Yep.
mean,
Oh,
let's
they don't
fight
want
it.
to think about people outside their cushiness. They want to steal $600 shoes and say I need food.
But those are
Oh yeah.
but those are Muslims, and that's part of their culture.
Oh God. There we go. All right, I'm definitely ending it on that. Booster, go ahead and give your pump your book one more time there.
Oh, back my shit. I want money.
There you go. But
That
no,
sounds like you
seriously.
want to be constipated, but all right.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, no,
having a banana.
go back it, guys. Let's get this thing that extra $100, please. Throw some money at it.
Please.
Lesbians in play.
They're
Oh,
in
yeah,
place.
baby.
Like
Yeah,
too
baby.
many. There's too many people want good art on their covers, and I feel like we need to back terrible art.
There you go. There you go. Now,
If you
Booster,
don't agree with that,
Well, I mean that's been happening for years in modern art.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Hey,
that's true.
hey,
Look at Marvel.
exactly.
Yeah, Booster.
See, I'm just a postmodern artist.
You are. That's true. We call you Picasso of Comicsgate. Tell me,
Yeah.
Booster, you didn't get that Pigs in Space reference. I'm sure you didn't. But I will
I did.
advise you and all the younger peoples, if you haven't seen Pigs in Space, go watch Pigs in Space because that's funny stuff.
Yeah.
Muppet Show, baby,
I'll go-
forever.
I'll go watch Pigs in Space.
You should. It's hilarious, dude. It's freaking hilarious. All right, buddy.
Yes. You
Would you-
you
Would
Say
you
again?
like to give a closing comment?
Sure. I am Buddy Lord. You can contact me anytime on Twitter at the Buddy Lord. I am writing a book
Anytime.
called Sins of the Fae,
Yeah. Nice
which
looking book.
is pretty much completed. We're working on some things. We're showcasing the villain Rowena right now. She is our Darth Vader, a redeemable villain within the series. She's fantastic. She's a stone cold killer, but her weapon of choice is a silver flute. She likes to manipulate people.
It's
She
a
also
good
likes
looking
to
book too.
bathe
The art's
in,
great.
Yeah, the art is great. It's by Joe Sanchez, and Xevious is the colorist. So check it out, sinsofthefae.com.
Yeah, Joe Dirty Sanchez.
Oh God,
I knew he was going to go there.
Horrible name. Horrible name. Well,
I
anyway,
can't
thank you,
help it.
buddy.
That's his name. I didn't name him.
Although I'm kind of sad a little bit that you're using your real name now. I liked calling you Doc.
You can still call me Doc if you want.
All right, fine.
Your name's Buddy Lord.
Yeah.
My name is Buddy Lord. I'm the
Shit,
artist
that's like
formerly
a-
known as Dr. Wright.
Like
That's like a comic book character, like
in
a
real
wrestler name.
life,
I'm
or-
Buddy Lord.
Is that just a pseudonym you're using?
My real name is Buddy Lord.
Oh my god,
Damn, dude, that's
it's
a
like
cool name.
Chester Busby. Oh my god.
I knew a guy named Steel Fightmaster. I'm not kidding. That was his
What's
name.
all these people with these ridiculous names, and I'm just saying, hi, I'm James.
Yeah. Aw,
That's what I do, man.
Is that how you say it? Hi, I'm James.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm James.
You feel more like a Jimmy to me though.
I'm a Jimmy.
He's the
Yeah, but
slick
you don't feel
Jimmy,
like a
don't you
Jimmy.
understand?
I don't feel like a Jimmy.
Nah, you feel more
He's-
like a Bubba.
He's a Jimmy, I'm a James.
What? I'm not a Bob. I'm not a Robert. I'm
No,
a
you're a
Jimmy.
Bubba.
If I'm
So
a
you're
Jimmy,
like,
he's a Jim
Whatever.
Bob.
I'm not even from the South. We don't
Isn't it
use that
Jimmy
word.
like a
It's
an
euphemism
apparatus used to
for
open doors? You know.
yes. It's also
Ooh.
euphemism for a penis as well. So
It is.
Slick Jimmy.
Slick Jimmy,
There is a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of a.
He's like,
double
yeah,
entendre
I've heard it all.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Eric. Go ahead, dude.
Oh, hey, if any of you were backers on my Wonderful World of Oz #2 on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I should have the books in probably the end of this week, early next week, and we'll start fulfilling already. So keep an eye out on that mail. Don't let it get wet.
You guys are way better than me. I suck.
Yes, yeah, it's true. That
Sorry,
is true.
Slick. You need help.
Well,
I mean,
definitely check that
Oh
out,
yeah,
guys.
you had a book, didn't you?
I still have a book right on the edge of being
Sugar
like,
Light.
yeah, Little Girl Lethal.
Sugar Lightspeed. Yeah, great name.
We're almost done with the fucking lettering, and then I will do.
I
We'll
went
do
an
the run.
entire
You-
episode without one F-bomb, and then you have to drop one at the end.
Oh,
Fuck.
that was the French version of the F word.
Oh, okay,
the
fine.
fucking, the fucking.
Okay.
Fuck yeah!
Come on.
Guys. All right. Well, thank you very much, Eric. And Slick, take us out of here with some namaste, please.
All right. Well, since I am behind the 8 ball on certain things. Don't procrastinate. Don't let things get in your way. If you can, find any way around it. Live life to the fullest, carpe diem, and shake the life out of yourself. There you go. Namaste.
Oh, namaste.
Namaste. All right. Later, guys. Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye.